Woo, yeah. What's going on, Consciouztv, favorite breakdown commentator? Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. You already know what we're here to get into. Before we do so, go ahead and thumbs up the video until it's absolutely stuck. You guys start thumbing up the video, not only helps YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So if you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. Also, you are helping to boost the algorithm, all right? Not only that, if you guys enjoy what the King do, girl, because the King has been working, it's going to be a working month. Make sure that you guys run up the Cash App, $Consciouztv, and or paypal.me/Consciouztv, Conscious spelled with the Z on the end, just how it is here on the platform. All handles are in the description box below. You also can join Patreon for nothing more than $5 a month. The notification system is excellent, and there is content there in the Patreon as well. Also, follow me on Instagram at Consciouztv. Email me all the tea at consciouztv@gmail.com. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be a YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you and fat lay the link. Just let the horse know that we're loud, we're live, and we're certainly in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, Conscious crew? Hey, hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. Happy hump day. It's a lot going on. Shout out to Auntie Trish for the old nasty piece of child support check. Thank you so much, Auntie Trish. Thank you, baby, because StreamYard just took $100 out of my damn account, okay? But we did put StreamYard to good use last night, baby. If you guys missed it, we had a 5-hour-long town hall meeting regarding Angela Stankin threatening to pow BTS medicine down in a war of online words, okay? We had to go through all the things, shouts. If you guys missed that town hall meeting, please check it out, all right? Yes, for the mass, it is giving Katana for Mortal Kombat, all right? You guys know that I had accidentally kind of like shaved a little bit too much of my mustache or my beard, so I don't like the way it's looking, child, so I'm gonna let it grow in until it grow in back how I want it to grow back in, child. We're gonna be masking it up, which is real cute anyway, honey. It's giving Jappy on the street fashion, all right? Now, I don't want to keep you guys too long, or maybe I will. We may have a watch party because there is a lot going on in this Diddy case. You guys know that I have not been covering the Diddy case now probably for a month and a half. You guys know I was already not going to cover the trial because I felt like I had really overdid the content on Diddy since the Cassie lawsuit and the indictment, etc. So I was already pretty worn thin and just kind of over it. So by the time trial started, I was like, girl, just tell me when the verdict is. Well, verdict day has motherfucking came, girl, and we're only waiting now on the last 2 counts of prostitution and another. I think he's been found guilty of prostitution and another count, girl. But we're just waiting on one more count, girl. So they're still deliberating. There's going to be a lot going on with Diddy's sentencing. Breaking news: Diddy was found not guilty of racketeering and RICO. Okay, these were the major charges that were pretty much going to seal Diddy's fate. His ass was going to be chained away like the fallen angels and have to await to Judgment Day, where he's no longer facing life in prison, but Diddy is not quite out of the woodworks yet, okay? He is still facing a maximum of 20 years, all right? I'm going to go ahead and get into the legal experts and let them push on through and talk to us about what's going on with Diddy. We're going to talk about the family's reactions to the major charges being dropped. We're going to talk about the influencers who are covering themselves in Diddy oil outside of the federal courthouse in 100-degree New York heat, doing the most, clout chasing, throwing bussy, doing the most. We're going to talk about how devastating this is for the community of victims and women's. America is really undergoing a major L right now. It's so crazy to live with eyes wide open through a regressive, backtracking America. It's like time is reversing itself. I'm really scared for women's community. I'm scared for females community. There's nothing to fucking celebrate here. Even if Diddy is going to walk, Diddy is a bad person who did bad things, not only to women, but women that loved him. And the fact that there are people overshadowing that, the fact that there are people who are resting in these charges being dropped in, Diddy possibly getting time served and coming home to his family and interpreting that as some, oh my God, one less notable, legendary, wealthy black man who gets to be used as a shallow trope for the community of black excellence. Get the hell out of here. Okay, there's so many things we're going to be talking about and touching on in this little bit of time that I'm going to be with you guys today. I have a lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts. I'm already about to bust out of my doggone seams. And just when I made a vow to not cuss anymore, here it is, all this cuss-worthy content comes flying down the doggone timeline. Okay, my God, today. Okay, but I'm not an Indian giver. I'm not going to go back on my oath to just scale back the adult language so that the content can be palatable. Okay, for the Conscious crew members who are conservative and have conservative families who want to play me out loud for their children. So I'm not cussing for the children's sake. Bear with me and pray for me. All right, courtesy of Court TV, let's get into the breaking news, you guys. And once again, please run those likes up and shout out to all the Conscious crew in the building. I will drop the link if I have time, you guys. Let me share my screen while you guys continue to share, and please thumbs up. We need all of that. Moderators, please encourage the Conscious crew to run those likes up, and all donation information is on the screen below. Oh my God.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. We continue our verdict coverage in the case of Sean Diddy Combs. I want to take you to New York City now live, where we find Court TV legal correspondent Kelly Craft. She was in one of the overflow rooms watching as that big verdict was announced. Kelly, tell us what you saw there, please.
Well, good morning to you, Julie. Quite a scene here in Lower Manhattan, especially inside the federal courthouse. So we heard this morning that a verdict had been reached, which was much sooner than we had expected, because take you back to yesterday when a partial verdict had been reached. This morning, deliberations resumed at 9 a.m. So we all thought that maybe there's going to be a little bit of time before a verdict is reached, because it was on the most serious charges that they had not reached a verdict yet. This is the racketeering conspiracy. But within a few moments this morning of arriving, we heard that the jury had reached a verdict. So everyone rushed back inside, and we waited. And then the judge said, have the foreperson read the verdict, pass it over to the deputy, and then you'll go through it. And then that's when the not guilty charges started to come. So first off, they read count one. This is racketeering conspiracy, not guilty. There was an eruption of people just cheering and so happy that he was found not guilty of racketeering conspiracy. Then they went to count two. This is sex trafficking, not guilty. Then they went to count three. This is the transportation to engage in prostitution. So he was found guilty of that. Count four, not guilty, sex trafficking. Count five, the transportation to engage in prostitution, Julie, again found guilty. So found guilty of two of those charges. This is transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, when this was taking place, Sean Diddy Combs started putting his hands like this. and looking over at the jury and nodding his head to the jury as they were reading off the not guilty and guilty verdicts. And then he turned around and he was looking at his family, and there were tears going down a lot of their faces because they were so pleased that he was found not guilty of the most serious charges. Again, racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Then Mark Agnifilo, his defense counsel, asked that Sean Diddy Combs be allowed to walk out of the federal courthouse today. And the judge said, I want to make sure I'm clear as to what you're asking, Mr. Agnifilo. And Mark was very clear. He said, yes, I am asking, that is Mark Agnifilo's request, to have Sean Diddy Combs walk out of this courtroom today. So quite a scene here. There's no decision yet on that from the judge, Julie. What the judge said is he wants both parties to go back and consult and come back with proposals. He wants each one of them to write a letter to him in regard to whether they think Sean Combs should actually be able to walk out of the courthouse today, pending sentencing. So everyone has to keep in mind, this is federal court. So what happens in federal court is that federal prosecutors can consider relevant conduct. They don't have to look at what he was convicted of or even what he was charged with. They can consider relevant conduct. And so what the federal prosecutor Comey was saying is there was so much violence here. There were acts of violence. There was coercion. There was force. So, Judge, we're going to ask you to consider all of that relevant conduct when we ask for a sentence. And we're going to ask for a substantial time behind bars for Sean Diddy Combs. So he could face that maximum, Julia. He would face the maximum. So 20 years, so 10 years for each count. And it appears that the prosecutors will eventually ask for that.
Oh, boy. They're not backing down. Kelly, quickly, before we have to hit a break, please, did you notice any reaction on the faces of those prosecutors when you started hearing those not guilty announcements?
They have been pretty much just looking straight forward, Julie, at their computers, even yesterday when the partial verdict came down. So today, same kind of reaction. But when Comey began speaking, saying that she wants to ask for considerable, substantial incarceration for Sean Diddy Combs, she was very, you could tell just in her voice, she's very fiery and kind of just in a way, just doesn't exactly appear too happy with the verdict, of course.
Oh, I'm sure, Kelly. And you know this from having been a prosecutor. He can't be treated any more harshly or any less harshly than any other defendant found guilty of these crimes.
My God, you guys. So there it is, still facing possibly 20 years. But a lot of legal experts are saying, look, more than likely Diddy is going to get time served. He'll go home, maybe have some probation, etc. His attorneys are already drawing up his bail proposal stipulations, etc. This is a mess, okay? Now let's get into Cassie, okay? Cassie's lawyer and stylist write letters asking the judge to deny Diddy in bail. Quote, Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, all right? Here's one letter from Douglas Wigdor. We write as counsel for Cassandra Ventura to respectfully request that the court deny Mr. Combs to be released pending his sentencing on his 2 convictions under 18 U.S.C. code there. Pursuant to the Bail Reform Act, detention is mandatory post-conviction on these charges, and Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself, as well as to the community. We thank the court for its time and attention to this matter. All right. Here's another letter from Cassie's stylist. I am writing to express my grave concern over the prospect of Sean Combs being released from custody. While I appreciate the fairness you have shown throughout the proceeding, I feel compelled to be unequivocal about the danger he poses to the public and to the individuals who have risked everything by coming forward. Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violent, coercive, and retaliatory behavior. Over the years, he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability, and each time this has only reinforced his sense of impunity. If he is released now, I have no doubt that he will see it as yet another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people who challenge or expose him. Many of us have firsthand knowledge of the fear he instills in those around him. I can say without hesitation that he is a serious and immediate threat to victims, witnesses, and the broader community. His pattern of violence, particularly while engaged in the trafficking of individuals for prostitution, combined with unchecked substance abuse, makes it clear that he is not ready to re-enter society safely or responsibly. To release Mr. Combs without substantial consequences would undermine the integrity of this process and send a dangerous message that wealth and influence can shield someone indefinitely from accountability. It will also endanger those who cooperated with this investigation under subpoena, who are already living in fear of retaliation. I urge you in the strongest possible terms to prioritize the safety of victims and witnesses under any consideration for leniency. Mr. Combs has had countless opportunities to change and has chosen instead to escalate his harmful conduct. Allowing him back into the community now would be a profound mistake. Thank you for your time and for your commitment to protecting the public from those who repeatedly demonstrate that they are unwilling to respect the law. Respectfully, Deontay Nash. What a well-written, passionate, articulated letter that couldn't express my personal sentiments better. All right. At this point, everybody around these victims, the Jane Does, the drug mule, Cassie, Don Richard, etc., are expecting these people to possibly be Kim Porter or be Biggie, okay? There is real cause for concern here. However, I want to be a bit more critical when it comes to Cassie, because what's interesting is that I really don't know how much these letters from her particular counsel and friends are going to really weigh on the judge, even though the judge does understand what the potential implications could result in releasing someone like Diddy, given the gravity of all that Diddy has endured since his indictment and arrest. This definitely could rev up things in these streets. So he wants to hear from both counsels. He wants to hear persuasive arguments about the way he should navigate and view the circumstances so that he can make a ruling that's both legally competent, but that's also mindful under these circumstances. However, I fear that Diddy's defense is going to argue, Judge, to hell with Cassie Ventura. All of a sudden now she's scared. All of a sudden now she's afraid. She wasn't afraid for her life when she filed that $30 million lawsuit. She wasn't afraid when she was pre-litigating with Diddy in a back and forth to get an outside settlement. She wasn't afraid nor seeking protective custody and witness protection after he got arrested. She wasn't afraid when the feds came to her and said, look, we want you to be a star witness in these charges against Diddy. So I'm afraid that Diddy's defense is going to throw all of that to the judge and say, hell, where was the fear? He was a danger then. He was a danger prior. He was a danger during. Now all of a sudden, he's out for blood when she been pooching around going to Victoria's Secret and the VMAs and she pregnant and happy and fat. Where was all this damn fear, Judge? Okay, if Diddy's defense is intelligent, they're going to tear her ass up just like they damn near did on the stand. However, given all of that, baby, the danger level is heightened at this point. However, because none of these witnesses from Don Richard just sought to work back with Diddy, just a year or two ago. That came out during trial. So the defense is going to really be able to poke holes in this whole argument that Diddy is some potential threat. None of these women sought protective orders. Some of these women even tried to work back for bad boys, tried to get back into dirty money, etc. So they're going to line this up. I feel like this is going to be okay, my shit went out. This is going to be a really easy narrative to squash. Shout out to my baby mother, Teresa, for the old dancing piece of child support check. Thank you, baby mother. You guys know all donation information is in the description box below, girl. So this is going to be a mess. Now, remember, I told you guys about a month ago, I said, baby, if Diddy is free, can you guys see me? Because my screen keeps going out. Can you guys see me? On my end, it's getting raggedy. Can you guys hear me? Give me a 1 in the chat if you guys can see me and hear me. It's a connection connecting. Yes. Okay, making sure because it's clipping out on my end. It's weird. All right. I see you were froze though. Am I still frozen or am I unfrozen? Am I electric sliding? Can you see me electric? If you guys can hear me though, that's all that matters. Okay. All right. So that's going to be interesting to see what takes place. But unfortunately, look, my head is about to blow right now like a powder keg. Okay, while we're young Cassie, let's deal with Cassie. Prosecution totally dropped the damn ball when it came to Cassie. Okay, they dropped the ball. Look, in Cassie's lawsuit, right, she said verbatim that one of the biggest components to why she stayed with Diddy was because he would force her to watch the playback of previous freak-offs with these male escorts, and she was being threatened to have that content released, okay? Not only that, he was holding her entire career over her head and also had damning evidence against her. I don't know why prosecution allowed Cassie to take the stand telling some telenovela-ass narrative about Diddy and talking about loving him and how desperate she was to please him, even if to some damn degree that was reflected in some of the evidence that that Diddy's defense had against her. The reality is prosecution should have been very meticulous with Cassie and how she framed Diddy to make sure that the jury did not more so see her as a desperate woman in love, more so than a woman who had been coerced, a woman who was afraid for her life, and a woman, yes, who was enthralled in this hyper-complex situation with her abuser, who happened to begin as a man she was in love with. And look, the reality is, many of women are Cassie. It does not deny the fact that they're being abused. You know how many women are married right now to husbands who have put their hands on them, who have cheated on them, who have narcissistically abused them. It doesn't negate the fact that these things are wrong just because a woman is actively trying to make it work with somebody who is harming her. It's still harm. It's still harm. So to just tally all this up to a dysfunctional romantic relationships as if the things that were taking place were still not illegal, were still not abusive, is crazy. And being in a relationship to your abuser doesn't negate the abuse. It doesn't negate the criminality. That's like taking away everything from any woman who's ever been in a long-term relationship to a man and have been abused, been sexually violated, been mentally tormented, had their minds played with and effed with. And oh, well, because you were with them, oh, because you were trying to make it work? Yeah, they're going to try to make it work. They were in love before they were victims. So it's the love that's compelling them to be hopeful. It's the love that's compelling them to try to seek a better day in a damn relationship. But it doesn't change the context or the nature of the things that are actively being done wrong to degrade that woman, to dehumanize her, to subjugate her. And look, it wasn't Cassie's responsibility, right, to know how to do that. That was prosecution who dropped the ball on what Cassie should have sat up there and continued to reiterate and the script she should have continued to stick to as it relates to the part of Diddy that they were focusing on, which were the parts that were relevant to the charges that were pending against him. And this is fucked up. This is fucked up. Sorry for the cussing. Oh, God, I said I wasn't going to cuss. This is messed up. Because if there's not a bigger receipt in this trial that justifies why victims do not come forward, this is it, baby. This is it. And I said early on in this trial coverage that I did not believe that Americans, aka the jurors, were emotionally intelligent enough to separate the harm done to Jane Doe's, the harm done to Cassie, because it was going to get swallowed up and lost in the translation of these women were in love. They liked Diddy. They might want it to look. I'm about to blow like a powder keg. I had no faith, girl, because we already don't even treat the conversations around this type of shit well, yet alone turn this ish into an entire trial. I knew America was going to drop the ball. I knew the jurors were going to drop the ball. America is so dense and filled with so many dummies and so many emotionally unintelligent motherfuckers. Let's also talk about this. The fact that you got women, American women, who are double daring America to protect women, protect black women, and yet under every single black blog, from Neighborhood Talk to every other blog that has the demographic of black folk, the Shade Room, TMZ, you got black women talking about free Tory Lanez, free R. Kelly, free P. Diddy. And then you wonder why you got whole incel, whole red pill sectors that laugh at women, gag at women, parody women. When you got women participating in internalized misogyny, you have women participating in internalized patriarchy, voting against their own best interests, women doing that. Women embarrassing women, women shaming women, women sacrificing women for men who would abuse them and their daughters and their aunts and their best friends and turn their ass into a Shanquella Robinson at any motherfucking moment. This is a loony bin. America is a loony bin right now. A loony bin. Women will never live it down. The fact that they're out here championing for the worst of men, men who have had their crimes recorded and bared witness by employees, surveillances, the whole nine. And you're expecting to equally also be heard and taken seriously within a system that's dominated by male perspective? What the is going on? What is going on? What is wrong? What is wrong? This is out of order. America is going to hell in a hand basket. Girl, I could explode. Let me go on. Let me go on, girl. I could literally explode. I could explode. So Brian Steele also is getting his flowers. This is the same man that got the rapper Young Thug released. Now he's been a part and central to Diddy's case. And obviously Diddy beating some major charges, having his sentencing grossly reduced. Even if he is going to do time, he's not going to do life and possibly coming home altogether under the guise of time served. Is getting his roses, okay? Brian still stays undefeated in RICO cases, back-to-back win, the man's a legend. Diddy understood the assignment. He hired a masterful legal team. He refused to have taken his plea deal, and he did not testify in this case. So far, all those things have worked in Diddy's favor. My God, today. All right. Diddy's legal team is also proposing a $1 million bail. Mother, sister, and Sarah Chapman to co-sign travel restricted to Florida, New York, and California. All right, it's on the site reports that Sean Combs' legal team is asking the judge to approve a $1 million bail package backed by his mother, Janice Combs, his sister, the mother of his oldest daughter, Chance Combs. Under the proposal, Diddy would have strict travel limits only allowed in the Southern District of Florida, Central District of California, and the Southern District of New York, plus limited New Jersey airport access. He would also be required to surrender his passport, submit to drug testing, and follow all other standard pretrial supervision rules. All right? His team is going to go the hell off, girl, okay? They're getting Diddy home within 48 hours. Shout out to my big mother, Adriana, for great commentary. Thank you so much, baby mother. Thank you so much. You guys know all donation information is in the description box below. Okay, so bail proposal is coming, girl. It's time to strike. Diddy's legal team promises, along with all of those stipulations, that he won't contact escorts if granted release after filing a $1 million bail request with the judge. Preposterous, considering that Diddy literally came to New York to be arrested and they found pink cocaine and drugs on him at his hotel. So this preposterous idea that Diddy is literally going to respect any part of his stipulation is absolutely nuts. If anything, if Diddy walks, if Diddy comes home, this is going to be the biggest, most notorious, legendary boost to this maniac, sexually deviant ego in history, larger than Trump's. That's why so many of the brave individuals who came forward to spill their complex dealings with Diddy are afraid, because nothing about not being held accountable when you've done the things that Diddy have done will make somebody like Diddy better. It's only going to make him worse. All right? Shout out to my baby mother, Voice of Reason, for the old dancing piece of child support share. Thank you so much. God bless you, baby mother. Diddy fans, Diddy crumb nuts, Diddy incels, Diddy sack chasers, Diddy cock blowers, Diddy peen suckers are down there celebrating Diddy's possible release and federal charges being dropped, honey, as if it is their get-free entry into the Baby Yoy freak-off going on this coming Saturday, okay? Timu teeth having ass bloggers and so-called influencers who have the largest demographic of women consumers, women viewers, are down there throwing 90-degree bussy around in moist New York humid air, covering themselves in the sticky, icky of it all. You would have thought Diddy was these people biological motherfucking fathers. Where are the people who talk about a damn father fracture, baby? All these fatherless ass lost black men down here celebrating the release of a man who abuses, takes advantage, extorts, capitalizes, subjugates women. None of these bloggers would even be who they were if it wasn't for the motherfucking women they're championing against. Down there doing that butterfly and that big head bounce, doing the damn crip walk, as if they getting a bigger check because Diddy might be coming home. Look, y'all better be more vetting and cautious of who the hell y'all platforming, who the hell y'all giving clout too and visibility too. Because, baby, these niggas, they not like you. They not like you. They'll beg you for your money. They'll talk about how you're jealous of light-skinned women. They'll be colorist. They'll call you monkeys. And then they get to stump the yard. And wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the women who were willing to see them. And yet champion behind some bullshit like this. Who gives a damn what a verdict says? You literally watch the prosecution prove that Diddy is abusive, Diddy is coercive, Diddy is an addict. He made an addict out of Cassie ass. Cassie was overdosing so bad, she would wake up in the shower not even knowing what the hell happened, because that's how disposing Diddy was of women. How do you see all that and then get your ass out here in polluted New York tri-state air and just have zero empathy for what you can see even through the microcosm of Diddy's case so many women endure on a daily basis? And it's black men, gay, straight alike, done lost their goddamn minds. Y'all done lost y'all minds. Y'all have literally lost y'all's minds. Lost it. And if you would pick Misha in the chat thinking that there's anything appropriate, sensible, and okay with this, you part of the problem. With these warp-minded ninjas, these warp-minded ass bitches. Baby, let me tell you something. Baby, America is a scary, 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 scary place for women. Scarier than any other time as far as I'm concerned. The fact that we got an administration pardoning criminality, baby, this is the best time in criminal history in this country. I can't imagine the message this sends to people in power, the message this sends to men who benefit in a patriarchy, the message this sends to abusers. I can't imagine what this translates as and communicate. I would not be surprised if trafficking went up in this country, DV went up in this country, if we hear less from women going forward, because America just told women they don't give up. Even when it's caught on camera 1, 2, 3, and 4, don't give up. There's no amount of motherfucking evidence that could result in this system taking women seriously. This is insanity. This is devastating. I am afraid for, I have cousins coming up in this system, female cousins. I have female friends who have to navigate this fucking system. The fact that men now have another fucking receipt that it is a man's world and women are just some fucking inanimate object in it. And the sad part about all this accumulated karma that America is building up is that we're all going to pay for what the bad players in this country did. The fact that there's going to be no separating from the wheat and the tare when the bombs drop, when the earthquakes quake, when the tsunami, the fact that all the good people going to pay the price as well. It's not going to be like we're all going to be preserved in some corner while everybody else who deserves it in America gets their just dues. The fact that we're all going to feel the burn of the divine retribution of America's out of whack, reckless disregard for vulnerable people. And look, these content creators are going to go live, and it's going to be women championing for them. It's going to be women twerking ass. Yeah, free Diddy, free Story, free him, girl. The fact that it's going to be women empowering this foolishness, this backhandedness. Women, y'all are taking the L in this. You're taking the L. Your daughters are taking the L. Your granddaughters are taking the L. Your best friend is taking the L in this. And it's going to be women coming in the droves, in the thousands, with their click and their views and their cash apps and super chats ready to participate and sabotage their own evolution and progress and safety. In this system, in this aquarium that they have to live in. Baby, it's got to be a way to get rid of the Uncle Toms. Baby, it's got to be a way. It's got to be a way, bitch. It's got to be a way to create a line of demarcation. It's got to be. It got to be. It got to be. It has got to be that we ain't figured out how to effectively segregate yet. It's got to be a more notable way to draw the line in the sand. It got to be. 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 This is who women created. This is what women have created. Look at women in the background. Look at the women in the background. Look at the cornrow women in the background. Look at them. Literally, women, American women are on death row right now because of where America is going. And they got their phones out shaking ass alongside men who got more privilege than them, celebrating, salivating, percolating, and twerculating in the qualified immunity that's being ripped by and through, not only on a legislative level, the ripping of DEI, the ripping of Planned Parenthood, the ripping of birthrights. Oh, no, baby. They're ripping that immunity of well ass away on a social level. Hold on, y'all. This is my baby daddy. Hi. I'm on live. I'm going to call you in 20. Okay. This is crazy. This clown shit. Clown. On to the next. Women. More women in their wet and wavy. Black women. In they little form-fitting black dress, prancing and dancing at an abuser of woman coming home. Women. Christian Combs celebrates with push-ups and dance moves after his father's verdicts, while all of his sons are also tied up in civil lawsuits for being just like their fathers. And look how a black woman is there, the Uncle Tom the scene. To make sure that out of control, dysfunctional ass men know that they are the symbol of power. Make sure to affirm the fact that they have no responsibility to bear. There's no onus on men at all. Look at the women. I can't do it. This shit is baby, I am shook. I am motherfucking shook, girl. This country got me shook. I am shook, bitch. I'm shook. Courtroom sketch shows Diddy's reaction after hearing the verdict in his trial. Diddy was on his knees. Okay? Praying to all them damn gargoyles and dead people and Freemasonry and rubbing his damn underarms with charged crystals and baby, all the blood sacrifices paid out. All the meditating on Lucifer and the Luciferian ass system paid off. Dropped to his knees. Because right now, he the baddest mother in the land, baby. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. Boy, this is crazy, bitch. I feel like I literally feel like I'm living in the upside down. Diddy trends after beating 3 of the 5 major charges in the SEX trafficking case. Shortly after, the jury found Diddy guilty on only 2 charges while he beat the 3 charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and SEX trafficking. Social media users began debating the implications of the case and what it might mean for similar cases in the future. Diddy's longtime nemesis 50 Cent weighed in, calling Diddy a bad man for beating the feds, referring to him as the G.A.Y. John Gotti. Some users expressed disappointment over the verdict, sharing their sympathies for victims they feel didn't receive justice. Others questioned how Diddy was found guilty under the Mann Act for transporting his former girlfriends Jane and Cassandra Cassie Ventura, but not on the other charges, despite the volume of evidence presented. Let's get into those comments, you guys. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. 50 Cent's blockhead ass here. Diddy beat the feds? That boy a bad man. Beat the Rico? He's the G.A.Y. John Getty. 50 Cent, get away from me with this, all right? Social media users. Tony says prosecution painted Diddy as some freak monster when they should have been more focused on proving how he's a criminal. This trial was a waste of time, and it seems like they tried him just to embarrass him. I don't think that. I don't think they tried Diddy to embarrass Diddy. I think that prosecution did a very... First of all, let's talk about how there was some unprecedentedness in this whole thing with the feds. Typically, the feds are on your ass for years out before they clank you up and push you up against that wall. The fact that this federal investigation happened after Cassie's lawsuit, the feds literally was trying to build a case in real time against Diddy, while also charging him and arresting him while they were literally building their case. This is where prosecution dropped the ball at. The feds typically are meticulous. They're methodical. More than anything, they're patient. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait, and they fine-tooth comb and scourge through every single chapter, verse by verse and line by line. But that didn't happen here. And you know why it didn't happen here? Because under the Me Too movement, the coming of a Trump and a lawless administration, prosecution were banking on one thing, even though they knew they had a weak case, even though they know they had prematurely executed on all of this shit. They were banking on one major component, you guys. Still, even though they knew it was weak. Do you know what that component was? Do you know what that component was? Do you know what that component was? Can anybody tell me in the chat what that component was? Look at them. You got the bald-headed, baby hairless pick-meshas in the chat right now, where they internalize misogyny. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. The same motherfuckers who got TPOs on their baby daddy. The same motherfuckers who got restraining orders on their baby daddies. The same motherfuckers who done been shot at, beat on, kicked, punched, left to be single mothers. Talking about free Diddy. Don't even want to free their ex-boyfriends on cheating on their ass back in 95, but free Diddy. Do you know the one thing the feds were banking on, though? Yeah, they were banking on a pro-woman society, which had already been debunked, right? when an overqualified woman of color attempted to run for president and lost to a 34 convicted male misogynist, Trump. So we already knew America was largely performative in their advocacy for the safety of women. But there was one other major component. Race. They just knew, baby, they were not going to be able to bring, they just knew they were going to be able to bring a nigga into a white man's system, baby, and find his ass guilty even with a weak ass case. They were banking on race to convict and try Diddy. They were banking on all of the cultural tropes about how men, especially men of a particular background, a hip-hoppity ass New York ghetto hood background. Oh, trafficking, drugs, abuse, control. Oh, the DA just knew. They just knew, baby, that race was going to get them a guilty verdict. Even though the case was weak as motherfucking hell. But what the prosecution forgot is that you ain't talking about just any ninja. You talking about a ninja with money. You talking about a ninja with equity. You ain't talking about just Joe Blow on the corner, baby. That was going to change the entire landscape of this whole thing. You're talking about a ninja who could pay for his freedom. I ain't even going to say what I'm about to say, because ain't nobody about to sue me. Ain't nobody about to motherfucker sue me. Last but not least, I want you guys to hear this Hot Topics corresponder on the Don Lemon Show. Check this shit out.
Here's a breaking news. Sean Diddy Combs, not guilty of racketeering, not guilty of sex trafficking, transportation of prostitution, guilty, sex trafficking by force, not guilty, transportation of prostitution, guilty. So interesting. And look, I'm so glad to be surrounded by very accomplished and smart women. And I just want to know, honestly, you can say on this channel, perhaps we could not have shared as much, Katie, a couple, months or years ago when we were, in traditional media. I want to know how the women right here now feel about this. And I'm just going to shut up and listen to you guys.
I think there is a component that's happened with MAGA. When Trump came down the escalator and, we have grab them by the you-know-what. And there has been a desensitizing of aggression, specifically sexual aggression towards women. And, there's that famous quote from the Wall Street bros that are like, I'm so happy because we can say P-U-S-S-Y again and we can use the R word again. And they're happy that they can slap their secretary on the ass again. And so we have this, we're living in a very regressive time for women, because this is what happens with civil rights movements, human rights movements. Women are advancing. Women are getting positions of power. We had a Black woman on the ticket for the president of the United States of America. And this is the backlash. This is the backlash from it. And what concerns me about this verdict is that overall, there seems to be a regressive nature about the way we're viewing sexual abuse towards women, and also victim blaming seems to be back the way it was like in the 90s when I was in high school and college. That's what I'm seeing here, and I see it with this administration. It seems to be, if you have abused a woman, welcome to our administration, Pete Hegseth. That seems to be a prerequisite. You killed a dog? Fantastic, Kristi Noem. Come on in. It seems like we are highlighting depravity, and I think that
this is kind of trickling down into the collective conscience of American culture, is my gut feeling on this. Don, Katie, Peter, Nikki.
The jury had one assignment. All they had to do was find a motherfucking guilty on just one instance of RICO or racketeering. And the groundwork was there for them to do that. They just need to find one instance to put blood into the RICO and racketeering. We all know that none of us could get away with what Diddy did. None of us could. The jury had 1 month an assignment. Just one instance of racketeering. Male escorts witnessed abuse. Felt they had to fulfill their duties despite being uncomfortable, despite watching Diddy obliterate Cassie. The jury had one assignment, just one instance, baby. One instance of RICO, one instance of racketeering. 304 culture wins again. This is a big win for y'all, baby. I gotta give it to you. 304 culture, bust down culture, baby. You win again. Thanks for the raggedy, morally bankrupt, piss poor country that we're all living through now, baby. Okay? Back to the freak-offs, back to the trafficking, back to the abuse of it all. Men love that their crimes against women will not rank in the system, baby. Oh, I know why the ninjas are saying free Diddy. I know why men are celebrating this. Oh, I know, baby. Red Pill gonna be alive and well for the remainder of 2025, baby. Never letting you play it down. And now that they got some shit historically on the books to back up they bullshit with, oh, baby. Yeah. America is on its way to being on a short bus again. Make America a short bus again. Yeah. And the fact that women are participating, boy, this is a gross miscarriage of justice. And even if we have to accept the verdict, even if we got to put some respect on the verdicts here, the reality is, baby, the ball was dropped on the moral aspect of it. The ball was dropped on the humanity aspect of it. I ain't got nothing to say. I thought America could not shock me. The last year and a half have been shocking. Didn't think I could be shocked anymore. I want to bring up Lumel. Let me see, can I send this to myself? Let me bring up Hollywood Unlocked real quick, and then we're gonna pooch on out of here. Diddy is either going to walk and he's going to be on parole, or he's going to have his sentence grossly reduced because the major charges against him have collapsed. He is facing a maximum of 20 plus years. More than likely, that's not what the judge will give him for prostitution, etc. He'll have good time, do a year or two in prison. He'll get out and serve the rest on parole. Like the legal expert says, they won't give Diddy any preferential treatment just because he's a celebrity in trouble. He'll have the same way out that so many other people have had. Let me see if I can find this post. Did I just send this to me? Okay, fuck it. Hold on, wait. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Hollywood Unlocked. Oh my God, girl, this is insane. This is insane. This is insane. All right, let me bring up comedian Lumel Chow. Comedian Lumel reacts to Diddy's verdict. Nobody cares about what men do to women. It's sad as to me. Lumel said this on her IG story. So, ladies, we're dead in the water. People are cheering for this thirsty man. Nobody, and I mean nobody, cares about what men do to women. Your president was found guilty of SA, liable, had to pay a whole woman off for SA. He was more qualified to be your president for the second time than an overqualified woman of color with a clean criminal background and education and 20, 30 plus years of political experience. And yet a clean-shaven, non-criminal, self-respecting citizen, a contributing citizen of this country, were seen as a lesser candidate than a man coming into office, baby, with 34 plus felonies behind him, who had already committed treason and everything else in his last administration, lied to us about the pandemic, which had already been here for 3 months before him and his twisted Frankenstein-ass doctors finally admitted what was in the airways of the country. Inherited a great economy and put us through a recession. And we're going through one now. A man who told you he was going to come into office and shake this up. Who was going to snatch the future of your children and the quality of life away for you and your babies. And Trump won. A felon won. A male misogynist and chauvinist won by a landslide. Now, not even a close margin. Trump won so far, won so hard, that it was almost as if Kamala was not even in the race at all, baby. Where was she? Where was she, baby? It wasn't even competition. It wasn't even a sweat. So to Lumel's point, nobody, and I mean not nobody, not even women, care about what men do to women. It's sad as F to me, all his enablers and helpers, and they just get to skip away scot-free. Hurry, run, get your baby oil, and let the freak-offs begin again. I'm sorry. I want to apologize on behalf of patriarchy to women's community. I want to apologize to y'all on behalf of men's community. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This shit is fucked up, though. I gotta go.